This is the Morning Shower.
Brought to you by Late Night Hump.
Let the news wash over you.
With Jordan Freed,
Brendan O'Brien,
and Reena Ezra. These are your ShowerHead Lines.
President Joe Biden is set to meet on Monday with a group of 10 Republican senators who have proposed $618 billion in coronavirus relief, about a third of the $1.9 trillion he is seeking as congressional Democrats are poised to move ahead without Republican support. If you look at Joe Biden's policies over the years, he basically is a Republican. So the only people he should be compromising with are actual Democrats.
While enjoying a stroll on the beach, a 4-year-old girl discovered a 220-million-year-old dinosaur footprint. The footprint, which was discovered etched in stone, has been cut out and placed in the National Museum in Cardiff. The 4-year-old girl received no finder's fee for her discovery, but boy, is she going to have a great show and tell this week.
Later, a paleontology curator examined the footprint and said the creature probably stood about 3 feet tall, was 8 feet long, and walked on its 2 hind feet. Upon closer inspection, the footprint actually belonged to Queen Elizabeth II.
Moscow court on Monday has ordered the wife of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny to pay a fine of about $265 for violating protest regulations after she attended a demonstration in the Russian capital to demand his release. She's so committed. If it was my girlfriend, she would just say, "Take him."
If you're tired of hearing about riots started for ridiculous reasons like QAnon conspiracy theories and false claims of rigged elections, look no further than Tokyo, where they start riots for reasons we can all get behind: PlayStation 5s. Yodobashi Camera, an electronics store, was bombarded by hundreds of people after the store announced they were selling the gaming consoles on a first-come, first-served basis. People were baffled that such turmoil, chaos, and violence could have happened, before returning to playing another round of Grand Theft Auto.
There may be another addition to the growing list of strange possible symptoms of the new coronavirus, COVID tongue. A British researcher who is helping to track COVID-19 warning signs is reporting more cases of infected people complaining of tongue discoloration, enlargement, and other mouth problems. This just in, COVID tongue is great for eating ass.
The influential anti-Donald Trump group Lincoln Project is denouncing one of its co-founders after multiple reports that over several years ago he sexually harassed young men looking to break into politics. The Lincoln Project, in a statement on Sunday, called co-founder John Weaver a predator, a liar, and an abuser, following reports that he repeatedly sent unsolicited and sexually charged messages online to young men, often while suggesting he could help them get work in politics. But we should have seen this coming. Generally, if anyone from Project Lincoln calls you, they're trying to take advantage of you.
A Japanese woman has been arrested after a cleaner found her mother's body in the freezer of her Tokyo apartment. Yumi Yoshino, now 48, said she hid the body 10 years ago after coming home and finding her 60-year-old mother dead because she didn't want to move out of their home. The bad news: Yoshino will likely face prison time. The good news? Now she finally has room in her freezer for her bags of Totino's pizza rolls.
The crime thriller movie The Little Things premiered on HBO Max and in theaters. It topped the domestic box office charts, debuting $4.8 million and shot up to #1 on the streaming service as well. It's now known that the only reason it's doing so well is because people thought The Little Things was about Denzel Washington's, Rami Malek's, and Jared Leto's small dicks.
Scandinavia's largest film festival is exploring the social isolation resulting from COVID-19 by setting up a temporary cinema for one on a desolated island in the North Sea with only one companionship to the event's entire movie selection and enough food to last for the week. Lisa Enroth was selected among 12,000 volunteers to spend a week on the island of Hamneskar at Paternoster, a former lighthouse turned boutique hotel. An emergency ward nurse from Sweden with a passion for film, Lisa said the isolation would give her time to reflect and be alone after a busy year amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Fortunately, a festival of Swedish art house films is the most isolating activity you can do in these times. Besides, of course, living alone in a cramped studio apartment. A man has been arrested in Berlin on allegations he made radio contact with air traffic, including police helicopters, and gave fake flight orders while impersonating an aviation official. That 32-year-old, whose identity wasn't released in line with German privacy laws, was arrested Thursday night in the capital on reports that he wants extra meatballs and pineapple and a side of garlic knots with Cinesticks.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is currently hard at work on his feature directorial debut, Netflix's Tick, Tick, Boom, which is based on the semi-autobiographical musical of Jonathan Larson. Not to be confused with Tick, Tick, Boom, the semi-autobiographical musical of 9/11.
A 41-year-old man was arrested after trying to kidnap a woman in New Brunswick using a fake gun last week. Gary Pritchard drove up on the woman as she walked along Easton Avenue, brandished what appeared to be a handgun, and ordered her into his truck. The woman refused and told him that she would just do the fake kidnapping. The deputy commissioner for public health at the New York State Health Department resigned in late summer. Soon after, the director of its Bureau of Communicable Disease Control also stepped down. So did the medical director for epidemiology. Last month, the state epidemiologist said she too would be leaving. The drumbeat of high-level departures in the middle of the pandemic came as morale plunged in the health department, and senior health officials expressed alarm to one another over being sidelined and treated disrespectfully, according to 5 people with direct experience inside the department. Their concern had almost one singular focus: Governor Andrew M. Cuomo. It turns out the sexy, nipple-pierced, dad-bodied freedom agent of early New York pandemic was actually just a politician. The frantic price swings last week in stocks like GameStop and AMC Entertainment, led by retail traders aiming to take on Wall Street, have spread to a new target: silver. The price of the precious metal jumped 10% on Monday to the highest in 8 years after online calls to create a silver squeeze. The squeeze was so effective that the first place Olympic athletes will now win silver medals at the Olympics, if the Olympics ever happen ever again. Former President Donald Trump announced a new impeachment legal defense team with just over a week to go before his Senate trial. The 2 representing Trump will be defense lawyer David Schoen, a frequent television legal commentator, and Bruce Castor, a former district attorney in Pennsylvania who has faced criticism for his decision to not charge actor Bill Cosby in a sex crimes case. I don't know if these lawyers are scumbags, but I'm sure the proof is in the pudding pops.
Thank you for showering with us.
Lather, rinse, repeat every day before noon.
Scrub-a-dub-dub at latenighthump.com.